Hello, everyone.
Hi, Kelly.
I think we're waiting. Paul, do you know if Lisa's coming?
Lisa sent an email saying the link wasn't working, and it seemed as
Yeah,
if
she's
she was.
getting on here.
Boom.
Yeah, let Lisa in.
And Andrew, could you let John share his screen if need
Yes.
be? Okay. I think this is, I'm not sure about Cheryl or Jeff. I thought Jeff was going to be here for a little while. Let me see what my email or my text. Or Penny. Anyone see Penny?
Kelly, I had a lot of trouble with the link, so others may also.
Okay. Andrew, how's the link going?
Should be fixed now.
Okay. Maybe they're trying to get back on. You didn't see Penny, did you, Andrew? Penny or Cheryl?
No, there's not anyone in the waiting room right now.
Oh. You guys don't mind waiting just another minute, just in case?
I have to leave around 3:30, but that's no big deal.
Oh, well, this
But
might
no, you guys can carry on without me just fine.
be, okay, because I only have one question for you. I can
I don't know that
ask,
I'll have an answer.
well, I can ask you now because it'll come up a little later. The bridge on Dillman
Uh-huh.
Road, what's that status?
The Dillman Bridge broke, is that what you said?
No, Dillman Bridge or Dillman Road Bridge.
So are you talking
Bridge on
about
Dillman?
the one that's west of 37? The old truck?
Yes.
We put
Yes.
that into the NOFA call for 2027 construction year, and they will announce the awards this month.
Is that a federal grant?
It's NDOT 80/20.
Oh, it's NDOT. Okay.
It's federal highway.
If they say yes, do you think there's a chance there would be a bridge expansion to let pedestrians cross with their
I'm sure
bicycle?
that they would, I'm sure that we can design it how we would like to design it, right, Paul? There's no design out there yet, so.
Okay.
The
What
only
month
thing we
do
were
they-
trying to do what?
What month will they tell you if you've won?
This month.
Oh, okay.
They just sent an email yesterday that they will announce it in March.
Okay.
So I'm thinking possibly next week we might know. But again, that's for construction year of 2027.
Mhm. Well, and it's okay that we're talking about this now, if you guys don't mind, because if Jeff McKim gets on, we can't talk about it anymore. The land and water grant. One question I have, if we apply for the Limestone Greenway Trail Loop, Jackie, do you think it's possible to have a gravel parking lot with one asphalt ADA and a ramp going up to the rest area?
So you're talking, sorry, I'm getting oriented. So you're talking about the Limestone Greenway old sheriff or the sheriff building lot?
Yeah,
right there,
the
right next to
substation.
it. Okay.
Not next to it, below it.
Tech services, can I share my screen? Thank you.
Should be able to now.
So right here, Kelly, this is what we're talking about.
Yes, right
Okay.
there.
All right. The main issue with this lot is that there's a lot of floodplain, and then there's a nice steep hill here, but you could probably work to get you want one ADA spot.
Yes.
Okay, that's
That would-
paved. Okay,
Yeah.
so it would need to be outside of the floodplain somewhere. I don't know if your plant, didn't you say you had BRCJ survey this or do something?
Well, they've just did a free map real quick.
Mhm.
It
Okay,
could be gravel. And then a ADA ramp that goes up to the rest area.
okay. You can, it might get a little bit expensive with engineering costs because you will maybe need to add in some permits for filling in a floodway.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. Since the yellow is the most highly regulated is yellow.
Okay.
So if you're gonna do a parking lot anyways, and one of them being paved, I assume you might end up getting into the yellow.
Okay. So it might be possible.
Yes.
Excellent. And just FYI, I've talked to the health department and they suggested to abandon the septic system at the sheriff's substation if we do this, and then just put in a, what did they call it? A tank with an alarm system that goes, and we have to pump it.
A holding tank?
Well, and it's just for the house, which means the police officers who,
Yes.
it's not a public restroom.
True, true. Okay.
And
Typically, we're trying to phase out holding tanks, as you know, but okay.
he doesn't know how else to do it because there's no room for a septic, or
Mhm.
they can't find the septic. There's a lot of septic issues.
Yeah,
He actually thought it might be better to do the tank because we know everything, where everything is.
right. And you're not working with the city with their property so they own the 2 parcels above that parcel?
They own below and to the north.
Mhm. They own this one and this one.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that the parking project would just be contained to this lot.
Are you saying the city owns to the house?
No, this is county here. This one here and this one here. I don't know who owns this. Oh, city owns this too. This is part of the treatment plant. They just own all the way over to here.
Okay. I mean, we haven't had it surveyed, but I know GIS isn't perfect, but boy, that's sure close to the house.
Rachel Ozer did a bunch of work on
Oh.
this.
Yeah, we only did that on the Robertson property, but you could get that adjacent line.
Mhm.
Ooh. That is tight. So anyway, I'll just be honest, the people who are on our Zoom right now are not any of the, it's not Cheryl, Penny, or Jeff. So does anyone have any questions about the Land and Water Conservation Fund? I mean, the proposal, they need to hear it, but I didn't know if you guys had any questions because there's a matching grant that would be required for a grant like this. But I just want to make sure it's possible first before we even attempt to look at it. Probably no questions. Hey, Tron,
Yeah.
did you ever figure out how far that railroad line goes through the Knapcheck property?
No, I had a serial day of meetings, so
Oh, no, that's fine.
I just didn't
John?
have time.
Oh, that's right. John, can you put up the map?
Yeah, I had, there we go.
I do have a better map than what we gave you that does have a scale bar. Well, you can see the 1 inch is 450 right there on a scale. This map was provided by our office too. I'm almost certain about that. I'm not 100%. But we do have
Well,
some more maps that break this into greater detail.
Yeah, this is an old map. So where you see the state of Indiana on the left, the commissioners own that. At the top where you see the foundation, the commissioners own that. Part of this land and water grant would buy the 28.5 acres right in the middle which would include the purple line, which is the railroad line. And we could do a loop from the mitigation property back up, and yes, there's a little triangle spot, go across Lisa's new bridge, hopefully, go to the parking lot, and that's where the loop would be.
Kelly,
Yes.
I'm looking at the grant website that you gave us. Back to the parking lot idea, how would someone with a disability get from that parking space up to, since that seems to be
We have to do a switchback ramp. That's why we have to get rid of the septic field.
okay.
So from the parking, it'll be switchback till we get to the top and to the rest area.
Okay.
I don't know how else to do it, but it would be a very nice ADA route, a very nice loop. If planning and everyone can figure out how to do it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know, because it says in the grant that you have to have it designed for people with disabilities, and I noticed the parking space, but I didn't understand how they would get up to the trail. But now I understand.
Yes, and there's a lot hanging on with the bridge. We don't even know if Lisa has won, and that's not till 2027. So, you know, they may be able to use, who knows, part of that bridge as a match. Even though it's federal funds, we can talk to them about it. So, you know, this might be in a few years. So I just want everyone to keep that in their back pocket. Does anyone have any questions about that project? Just to even think about it?
Kelly, a question about on the map. Who owns that little segment that interrupts the property line down Dillman Lane? It cuts
Yeah.
back to the railroad.
The little triangle up there.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, hexagon.
I don't have, I can't remember. I know Margie might have talked to them already once before. And I believe Bledsoe Weir Cooper James is actually working on that triangle, and they know that we're interested in it. I want to say it might be one of the quarry, but I'm
Okay.
not sure. But it's not, I think we will be able to get a hold of that piece of property.
Okay.
I mean,
Which
it's
property are you talking about?
You see the triangle at the top under the word foundation?
Yeah,
That triangle.
okay, we have a petition for that. We know that property.
What do, I mean, is it a secret? Can they,
Well-
oh, Jeff, oh, shoot, is that Jeff?
Yeah, I just sent a text, or I just sent it in chat that he's stuck in a meeting, but he didn't know if you have any questions for him.
Oh, hey, well, that's great. He can't be on for this talk anyway, he said, because he works for the National
Okay.
Park Services. So tell him to stay right where he's at. So,
They just did a subdivision of that lot, Kelly, and they dedicated right of way for Dillman Lane. Is,
so are you telling me that property is already off? Because if we don't have that property, this is going to be difficult.
can you put the cursor on the property you're talking about so we're all clear?
That's it.
Okay, you need that port, that's the road, right?
Well, I
Or-
don't need the road. I need the triangle.
Okay. For,
Well, because you see where the purple line ends?
yep,
We got to get from that purple line to Lisa's Bridge.
and not go through the road, not on the road, you mean?
Well, I mean, most time people don't like to, yeah, DNR won't agree to walking on a road.
Okay. That area is all floodway. I don't think it's usable to the person that bought that lot. So,
Yeah, the railroad embankment would be higher than the road, so it probably stays drier longer.
I could share my screen. It has a lot of that overlay on there. It might just could be nice to see why we're discussing it. So you see the overlay like here. I know your corner's missing just a little bit there, Kelly, but that's
Yeah,
generally the area. But this shows some other, details of that particular area. But this is the area Kelly wants to figure out how to extend this old CRX up and then hopefully access that bridge there. So, however, sorry for the crude drawing, if it goes straight up or if it follows the road that I think you were talking about, Jackie, and then connects to that road. I don't know if Kelly has a position outside of, she just wants to make it to the point where she can access that bridge and then get over to where that parking area is.
yes. Jack, is there any way, I mean, that we would be able to access that bridge through this property?
So there's right of way dedicated along the road. That's why I was curious
like
about
how
how
much-
far
yeah.
over, because we just did a subdivision. They dedicated 25 feet from the center line of Dillman.
Center
So
line.
that's
So that
you
leaves
could-
what,
fit that in.
12 feet?
I don't think it gets you to the rail. Well, let me see.
I could stop sharing. If you have Elevate up, Jackie.
I do, hold on. Sorry. So they just recorded this subdivision here. And this is the area that you're talking about here, so it's all
Yeah.
floodway. And they dedicated this right of way here. But it's 50 feet total, so 25 feet on either side. And if this is in line, I don't know if it gets, like, it seems like you would need more like out to here, which would be more like 50, 55 feet from center line.
So this is a done deal already?
Is that
Um,
petition going through just the preliminary phases, or are we not looking at the site plan quite yet, right?
Yeah, I think, I just was curious, Kelly. I mean, we could try and work with them to see if they would be willing to.
Yeah, because you can see where the
Offer something
railroad
up.
used to go.
I do now, yeah. I never
Okay,
noticed
yeah,
that before.
and then we just need to get to Lisa's Bridge.
And the railroad corridor would seem like the only logical way of getting over there, because it's already raised, it's already there. And would be the least expensive, I would think, to develop into a trail than any other area except for the road.
So what would be a next step, Jackie, to see if they would allow that?
So, John, can you share your map one more time of the overall? So you're asking about this grant, which would be utilized to purchase which properties?
Well, Napcheck, you see the 28.5 acres?
Yep.
Okay, all right, there's a big chunk
Okay,
there.
so thank you.
But
But
if-
you should not be that nasty to people.
If the triangle, if they would donate it, that would be fine too. Or just,
Okay.
you know,
Well, I'm
the
surprised
the
you didn't
trail
throw
where
it
the
if you
trail
got
is, but we
plastic.
also have to get to the bridge, take a left,
Yeah.
go west.
Okay,
I mean, do you think they would be agreeable? I mean, they're not gonna really do anything with that triangle, are they?
no, it's not a separate lot, so I don't know if the county, I forget for the Cars Farm Greenway, how much of that is easement versus right of way. I don't know if you guys like, I'm sure you prefer right of way, but if you had an easement,
I'm not picky,
okay.
but
Yeah.
if we could follow the railroad and then go west to the bridge, I mean, we'd need help getting west.
The existing Cars Farm Greenway is owned by the county. It was owned in fee by the railroad. And I would think a grant would require at least an easement. I don't
Mhm.
know that could get a grant based on just right of way.
Yeah, it'd have to be easement or fee simple.
Right, and we've done an easement just further south when we get to the Indiana limestone property. And that's only an easement that we have through their property, so.
So I guess I don't know where they're at in planning, if there's anything that we can do to, request this, if they're
Yeah.
interested.
I mean, they already did the subdivision, so it would have been ideal to know about it prior, but that was a little while ago. I'm not sure. We might have to just talk with legal because we don't typically approach landowners to ask them for land. We could ask for, they are going through planning for something else, but I'm not sure if it's going to be approved. So, I don't know. I don't
Jackie,
know.
Jackie, we have a number of different trails out there that have deviated from kind of the county's transportation or alternative transportation plan, and they're already built, but we still have the old proposed ideas within that document. Would revisiting that document to bring it up to speed where the county is intending to attempt to build these trails be helpful in kind of moving some of this discussion forward? I get kind of the position you're in. If you knew about it ahead of time, then you could have brought it up. But if we start looking at it in our documents, then that allows us to have the conversation because it's, painted right there in our, or is it alternative transportation plan? I always get the city and the county's name backwards with their transportation plan, but.
Yeah, I can look into that. What were you saying, Lisa?
I was thinking when we tried to incorporate some things into a plan commission petition item that Dave talked like we can't do that. Is that right, Paul? I was thinking of the trail and everything for the Roger Street.
Couldn't hear you very well.
Oh. Didn't Dave Schilling say something about us not being able to incorporate some of our easements or requests into plan commission petitions? Or I guess maybe he was saying we couldn't put it in as a condition. Maybe that's where I'm.
Yeah, I think that was the Fullerton or the Tap Road corridor.
Well, that and Roger Street. Hayes Drive.
Oh,
Federal
Yeah.
case law prohibits governmental entities from making a condition of granting a permission like zoning or rezoning or something like that on making a dedication to a governmental entity. And that may be what Dave was referring to. We couldn't condition approval of a site plan unless they dedicated the corridor to the county. That couldn't be a condition of approval. And
Yeah.
it could be subject of discussion, but there's a fine line between making it conditional on the grant and just discussing the possibility of doing that in the future.
Okay.
Good point.
Well-
I think, Kelly, I would want to look to see, the RCJ is doing a bunch of surveying work here, but I don't know if there's a possibility that there is an old railroad easement that belongs to the county by chance that didn't show up. I don't know, but I guess the owner, at least for right now, this owner would be very amenable to probably working with us, but again, I don't know if he doesn't get his use approved, he might sell the lot and it'll be somebody else. So,
Well-
and I don't know at what point what we would give them in return for an easement or how to even start that conversation legally, so.
Well, the other option is we ask them for a donation or we buy it.
yeah, we purchased easements for the Karst Trail just
Yeah.
north of Loesch Road there.
Okay, so I thought you were asking just to see if we could get it. I want the county to get a good deal, but I don't know how to start that. So, has anyone done any work to see if we have an easement through here? Like, is that already
I don't
ours?
think Margie did.
We've done some preliminary work, but we're a little hesitant. So Jackie, reach out and we can kind of talk offline about that here. We were looking at other segments, the Elkins kind of property, and ultimately we just didn't have time to insert the county's interest on every area that might have, interest in that title, if you will. But we did try to get some indication of where there's some uncertainty. Ultimately, with a declaratory judgment, the judge basically said that you're going to have to do more work on the ground to kind of sort out this issue. So I don't mind showing you some of what we've done internally. Our goal at the surveyor office was to create a pilot of how to address this issue. And if they wanted to kind of move forward, then obviously they would have to bring in some professionals, because we just couldn't go through the entire CSX and, subject ourselves to wherever we thought we had interest.
Yeah. Okay, and Kelly, you worked with legal to talk about this as a possible grant proposal, that we wouldn't have any possibility of already owning part of that.
I mean, here's the
Matching.
thing with the grant, we can, if we don't want it related to the grant, which is absolutely fine, county can buy it, county can have it donated to them. It won't hurt the grant at all. It just, the grant won't pay for any of it, but they like to have land secured. So if we need to, work on this little triangle at some point, it won't hurt the grant if we already own it. They just won't pay for it.
I guess what I'm asking is, are we sure we don't already own part of the area that
Oh.
we're asking to?
I don't know.
contract?
I don't think Margie did research on that.
I did research on that many years ago, and that part of the corridor, it was mostly a right-of-way and not fee simple. So if we had to make an assumption, it's probably not owned by the county, and it was not owned by the railroad, probably.
Okay, thanks.
Well, at least we have that out there, and Jackie and Tron, we can maybe, see each other in the hallways and maybe talk more about, what we need to do. I mean, you said maybe they'll donate it to us. I don't know. I mean, they can't do anything else with it, right?
Right, yeah. I think that
I'll put up a sign. What's their name? The Smith Triangle.
advertising, no, I think it would just be something I want to verify with Dave about,
Okay,
if it's going through a planning petition or just starting that conversation. I think might be better suited to not come from planning, but we can connect you to the person. But I
okay,
don't know.
okay. Yeah, see what Dave says, and then we'll go from there. How's that?
Okay.
I have one document of interest. It's CSX fee versus easement judgment 2003, and it has that little segment. Let me bring it up on the screen real quick. And then maybe we could put this conversation a little to rest. I believe, oh, look, I got both of these. Let me put them side by side. That'll make it nice for us all. Get rid of some of these tools, close that, make it a little larger. Right here, right here, it says NAPSHEC. So I think this is the part you're talking about.
What, Tron?
This little segment, that's right here. That's what you're talking about. That's the segment in
Oh,
question.
the triangle.
Yeah, and so Becky, I could provide this document. I'm not sure if that's going to talk about if it's a fee simple or easement, but
It does say
It does.
it's easement below, so that helps on the
Yeah.
bottom left. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
so yeah, reach out. Like I said, we've done some work. It gets really tricky, really tricky in this area. So like, I don't know, Kelly, regardless of what we can provide you, having clean title is a big thing. So maybe having someone look at it, like a surveying firm, to make sure that you have very clean title to this. I think is in the county's interest, because, you know, the last thing we want to be is in a position where we're arguing ownership of the trail, right?
Tron, that exhibit you put up is the one I'm familiar with. And if you look at the box in the middle of that drawing there, it says that of that stretch of corridor, 439 feet were owned in fee by the railroad, and 1,690 feet were only an easement that the railroad had. And that's why I was saying that more likely than not, it wouldn't have been owned in fee. Because
Right.
that map doesn't pin which part was easement and which part was fee. It just broke down, the number of feet of each within that stretch of railroad corridor.
And that's why the judge basically put in the declaratory judgment language that's saying you're going to have to sort this business out when you get to it. So, yeah, I agree with you, Kevin, absolutely, that, only 439 is a fee. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Again, we have more information, just reach out. That was something I was going to pass along to this group, is with Margie stepping aside, we worked with her a lot when we had a professional surveyor at the office. So we might have a few interesting needles in a haystack or nuggets of good information that could be very helpful. So just reach out as we continue moving these discussions forward.
Well, and the only other thing I have to say about the land and water, and then Jeff's going to hop on, is another project possibility is from Flatwoods Park to the RBB school campus, land purchase and trail construction. So just keep that in your back pocket too. Does anyone have any questions before Jeff gets on board? Okay, I'm telling them to hop on.
Kelly, this is sort of just like a question of, I've been walking on West Dillman just for that site that we have a planning petition. It's just like a question. I don't know if anyone really thinks it's important. Does the treatment plant smell from West Dillman? Like if we do that loop, is it getting us closer to the part where people try to avoid on the Limestone Greenway, or is it fine?
I think it's absolutely fine. I think
Okay.
if you have the worst smell would probably be when you're on the Limestone Greenway, closer to the, I don't know what it's called, the poop triangle. You can
Yeah,
kinda-
over north. Okay, that's,
Yeah, it's only like 20
Okay.
feet over the fence.
Okay,
Unless the wind goes the other way,
okay,
I think the wind goes,
okay. Just
I
didn't want it to
don't
be a
think it's
deterrent for, yeah, okay,
yeah, I don't think it's worse.
okay.
Good question, though. Andrew, I think Jeff McKinn's going to try to get on.
Okay.
Hopefully. All right, and maybe not. Is he coming?
He's not in the waiting room yet.
All right, he must be working then. Okay. We can look at the north section of the Karst Farm Greenway. It's open to the public. The public is already asking for additional amenities, restroom and parking, which I will call a porta-john and parking. So we're looking at some things, but of course there's no funding. We're also going to ask DNR to make a culvert and additional fence grant eligible. If they say yes, we'll go forward. If they say no, I'll go to the commissioners and ask them what they want to do about that. That should not be an expensive fix. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay. I'm also in the process of requesting DNR a grant extension because the railroad crossing will not be done to 2023. DNR is in the process of talking to NDOT, and then they'll be talking to us, and we'll see what we want to do, because by basically August 1st, we'll have the trail out of the right of way of the railroad on both sides, but there won't be a connection till 2023. And DNR is concerned about safety, of course. So that's where we're at on that.
Hey, Kelly, it's Paul.
Yes, Paul?
You might want to see if the railroad can phase their project to get the the track and the crossing surface in place. Usually they've got that type of material on hand, but it takes, of course, longer to get the flashing lights and all that equipment. So I can see the delay on that, but they might have the ability to do the track work so we can construct up to it.
Okay,
so forth.
I mean, do you ever talk to Jason Holder by chance?
No, I think Lisa's been doing most of the talking.
Okay, he's been talking to the railroad, Indiana Railroad, going back and forth. So he's been trying to get a construction schedule, and that isn't possible yet. They're working very hard to get a construction schedule, but I will ask them if they could at least do that. And I know DNR is talking to NDOT, so hopefully by the time they're done going back and forth, something good
least-
will come upon it.
Yeah, at least the contractor could get their work done within the right of way, because they're supposed to do a signal mound for them and things like that. So,
Well, Josh, the engineer's been talking about that, and Indiana Railroad's doing the flashers, I guess.
yeah, they're doing the flashers, but we've in the bid documents for E&B to construct, we had a mound so they can mount their signal equipment on in a couple of the corners, and of course the E&B work will do the work up to the crossing surface itself. So
I later on, I'll share some emails with you and you may go, oh, what's everyone talking about? Because right now they're telling EMB to stay out of the railroad right away.
well, yeah, I mean, if they can get the track work done, that'd give us something to tie into. So
Okay, so
Yeah.
everyone's working very hard to make this happen. DNR is hopefully will work with us and NDOT. And Paul, I'll talk to you later about, I'll share those emails with you and see what you think. Other than that, I think Tron and Jeff, which Jeff isn't there, they went to a meeting with Ellettsville, Owen County, and McCormick Creek State Park. I didn't know if you wanted to share with what was said at the meeting, Tron.
I was hoping Jeff would be here. He's the council person, and all of this evolves around money at some point. So I don't want to speak outside of my role. It was a good meeting. Honestly, there was not really much. I think someone brought up the idea about a really cool old bridge, Paul. I wasn't in a position to really push back or really talk about some of our discussions here. So I just kind of let them, and I think Jeff talked about it. And I think we mentioned Cheryl's name because I think Cheryl's had interests in old bridges. But after the discussion, Paul, just to let you know that me and McKim had a quick conversation about how you really feel like it's better to buy new bridges than kind of restore old ones as far as a cost effective approach. Sometimes, not all the time. Just and then hey Jeff and hey Jeff, we got both. I was giving an update real quick on the McCormick's Creek, and all I was saying is that we weren't really talking about much. It was great just to get us all in the same room and kind of look at the same vision of how we can connect the town to the county and the county to our adjacent county and then to McCormick's Creek. So it's a really great initiative. Everyone seemed pretty excited. There was a couple new people with the My Path. That's the group in Owen County. And then also there was a gentleman that offered us an old bridge. And I mentioned to him how, we kind of have our own process here to kind of address things of that nature. And then we talked about the support we get from our executives, from our county commissioners and our county council. And then we talked about how successful this internal trails group has been. And in my opinion, I felt like they were really trying to figure out how to, move projects forward. And I think us sharing, how we do things here in Monroe County could be very helpful for their goals in Owen County. And then I guess just with the town of Ellettsville, they're applying for a next level trails grant. And outside of that, they're still really enthusiastic about our vision with connecting to the Cars Farm Greenway and beyond. Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that is an excellent summary. Yeah, it really was a more of a get to know you and get to hear everybody's vision kind of meeting. But I think everybody seemed pretty enthusiastic about ultimately meeting in the middle, as it were, between Owen County and the Cars Farm Greenway. So, and yes, everyone is definitely in envy of the support that Monroe County Trails has from local elected officials.
Well, Jeff, it was my fault that you didn't jump on earlier because Cheryl had been texting me and I told her to hop on and I thought it was you. So you kind of missed our discussion on the Cars Farm Greenway, but I bet you read the agenda.
Okay, all right. Well, not anything anything important that I need to talk about?
No, I think we're all good. Does anyone have any other topics?
Oh, well, I guess the one thing I did miss the discussion about asking for the extension. Do you think that's going to be an issue?
Well, what has happened is that NDOT has indicated that they will speak to DNR. Then DNR will speak with me, and then we'll see what's going on because we, Monroe County, will have our trail to the railroad on both sides, but the railroad will not be done till 2023. So DNR is worried about pedestrian safety. So we're trying to work things through.
Okay.
I think things will be okay because they'll know we're completely done and we already have a grant in place and our project will be coming under budget. So what that will mean is that if we're under budget, they can take that money and give it to someone else.
Well,
So
that should make them happy.
That should make them happy.
And we will have an extremely successfully executed Next Level Trails grant.
Yes, I mean, everyone will work very hard to get this done. So I don't have an answer yet. It's going to take another couple weeks.
Okay.
But I mean, DNR wants it done. So I'm sure they'll work something out.
Good. All right.
And I see Jeff. Oh, go on, Jeff.
No, I apologize for being late. Lately it seems like every meeting I have goes way over.
Well, we talked about things you couldn't be around, so we were okay.
Sounds like it worked out.
It worked out just fine. Does anyone have any other questions? I see Jeff Cockrell's here.
Yeah, and I apologize for being late. I had a Trex hearing at 3.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
On the notice to proceed on the south segment, what your outline says is that on or before April 1st. Do we know whether the contractor intends to start before April 1st, or have we had any communications regarding when they're likely to start work on the trail?
They're not ready yet. So we keep in contact every week with them, and when they're ready to go, we'll give them the notice to proceed. It'll either be on April 1st or before.
Okay.
So
they have not shown any anxiousness about getting started early then?
No.
Okay.
Well, and one thing, it'll probably all work out because DNR is really nervous that we're going to get done early and then the railroad will have that big gap.
No. Okay.
Everything will work out. And we should be done, around August 1st. At least our portion, the railroad won't be. But the only reason why we'll be under budget is because Lisa got that 130 funding. If she would not have gotten that funding, we probably would have been over budget. So Lisa's not here, but good job, Lisa. You tell her, Paul. Anything else? If not, I'll probably be in contact with Jeff Cockrell to talk to him about bonds. Other than that, does anyone else have anything? If not, next month.
Nope. And I'm happy to, Kelly, if you want to talk to me about bonds too. I
I
would be,
do.
and other funding opportunities. I would be very interested.
Well, if you would like to call me anytime, I think that would be great because I'm ready for that conversation.
Okay.
Is this something
Sounds
that we should do, like both of them at the same time?
What do you mean,
The
Jeff? Cockrell?
conversation with me, you would have with both Jeff McKim and I.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That
Yes.
would even be more productive.
That would make more sense to me than two separate
Yes.
ones.
I am available anytime, any day for that conversation. Do you
All
want
right.
it in person or a three-way phone call or me sitting at Jeff's office, Jeff Cockrell's office?
It's up to Jeff. I'm out the week
I
of spring
mean-
break though.
Or outside at a picnic table? I don't care.
Just in general, for me, it's easier to do Zoom or phone simply because it doesn't take as long and I don't have to travel from one place to another, and I can schedule more meetings back to back, but otherwise I'm good. So if you two want to meet in Jeff's office or something, and call me.
Okay,
I'm more than happy.
we'll make arrangements and see what your schedule is, Jeff McKim.
Sounds
Jeff
sounds
Cockrell.
sounds great.
Sound good, Jeff Cockrell?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just looking at my calendar. Do you want to just go ahead and set it?
Sure, you tell me.
Are you ready to have it? Can we do it tomorrow?
I'm fine. Tomorrow's fine.
Jeff?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my calendar right now.
I've got, in the afternoon.
Yeah. I know I have a meeting tomorrow. But for some reason, it's not showing up on my calendar. Like what time in the afternoon are you thinking?
Before 4. Other than that, I've got tomorrow afternoon marked off to do some.
What about 1? Would
One?
1 work?
Yeah.
Okay, John Robertson,
Good.
can you set that up for Zoom?
Yeah, I can set it up.
Okay, John will send you Zoom information.
Awesome.
Excellent.
See the Jeffs tomorrow.
All right. I'll talk to you guys all later.
Bye.
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 Bye.